So the next question, so how to remove values to a Python array. So sometimes you need to remove some particular values from a Python array. So the array elements can be removed using the pop function or the remove function. So you can use either pop or remove function, which will remove certain items from the array. But what's the difference between them? So the pop function automatically deletes the last value of the array, but the remove function will remove a specified item. Okay, so you can write, if you write just a dot pop, it will remove the last value, that is 4.6 in this case. But you can also mention a dot pop in the bracket, you can write 3. Okay, then you can use the remove function to remove a particular value. So for the remove function, you must give the value to be removed. So in this case, if I want to remove 1.1, I will write a dot remove 1.1, which will remove the 1.1 value. Okay, so the these are the two functions used, the pop function and the remove function. Next, does Python have OOPS concepts? So Python is an object-oriented programming language. Basically, it's a typical object-oriented programming language. This means that any program can be solved in Python by creating an object. So, however, Python can be treated as procedural as well as structural language. So, you have the concepts of classes and objects in Python. So, which means it's a object-oriented programming. The next question, what's the difference between deep copy and the shallow copy? So now I'm just giving you the definitions. Later we will solve it with the examples. So shallow copy is used when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. Shallow copy is used to copy the reference pointers just like it copies the values. These references point to the original objects, and the changes made in any member of the class will also affect the original copy of it. Shallow copy allows faster execution of the program, and it depends on the size of the data that is used. Okay. The deep copy is used to store the values that are already copied. Deep copy does not copy the reference pointers to the objects. It makes the reference to an object, and the new object that is pointed by some other object gets stored. The changes made in the original copy won't affect any other copy that uses the object. Deep copy makes execution of the program slower due to making certain copies for each object that is being called. Okay, so this is the difference between shallow copy and the deep copy. So shallow copy is used when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. Shallow copy is used to copy the reference pointers just like it copies the values. These reference These references point to the original objects, and the changes made in any member of the class will also affect the original copy of it. Shallow copy allows faster execution of the program, and it depends on the size of the data that is used. Then the deep copy is used to store the values that are already copied. Deep copy does not copy the reference pointers to the objects. It makes the reference to an object, and the new object that is pointed by some other objects gets stored. The changes made in the original copy won't affect any other copy that uses this object. Deep copy makes execution of the program slower due to making certain copies for each object that is being called. So next question, how is multi-threading achieved in Python? So Python has a multi-threading package, but if you want to multi-thread to speed your code up, then it's usually not a good idea to use it. Python has a construct called global interpreter lock, that is GIL. The GIL makes sure that only one of your threads can execute at any one time. A thread acquires GIL, does a little work, then passes the GIL on to the next thread. This happens this happens very quickly. So to the human eye, it may seem like your threads are executing in parallel, but they are really just taking turns using the same GPU core. All this GIL passing adds overhead to the execution, meaning that if you want to make your code run faster, then using the threading package often is not a good idea. Okay, so a multi-threading, how you can achieve multi-threading, we have understood. So what are Python libraries? So Python libraries are a collection of Python packages. So we have so many uh, Python libraries available in Python. So they are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, scikit-learn, and many more. Okay, so library has a lot of built-in functions to carry out certain tasks. So Python is a rich language having a vast number of libraries. Okay, so that's why it's a very preferred language for machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so on. The next question, what is split used for? The split function is used to separate a given string in Python. So split method is used to separate a given string in Python. So example, we have a equals hello Python. So is a string. So when you use the split function, print a dot split, then you can see by default here the separator is the white space. So between hello and Python there is a white space. So the split function splits these two words according to the white space. That is a separator. Okay. Then you can see the output. The output will be in the form of a list. So hello, Python are now split and the output is in the form of a list. So we have one very interesting example of how to sort the words in a string in ascending order. So that we have to do using this split function. I will be showing you that very shortly. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. how to import modules in Python. So modules can be imported using the import keyword. So we always use this import keyword to import any library into the Python program. All right. So we have to use this import keyword. You can import any library, but you have to use import keyword, right? So now let's see that program where we will use the split function to split words of a string in ascending order. Okay, let's start that.